Okay, let's make this quick. You read the title, you know what this is about. I'm going to show you a new tech to skip pillars using the false sun. It's relatively easy to do and it requires no items. So first, all you have to do is find a sloped surface. The surface needs to be about 45 degrees in angle or higher, so a relatively steep slope. I'll be using the edge of the bubble here. You're going to want to go ahead and fully charge your Slam M2. And as you approach the bubble, you are going to jump and sprint midair to get into this sort of glitched state. So right now, in this state, you're not able to attack, but falling or pressing spacebar will undo this glitch. So you're not stuck in this by any means. But while we're in this state, the game believes that we are falling. That we have charged up our slam and are about to crash into the ground any second. But what it also means is we are building up a lot of momentum very quickly. Due to the fact that the slam doesn't give you a lot of upward momentum when you do slam, you do need to charge it for quite a while, but even after the little time I've been charging it here, if I go ahead and press spacebar, you'll see I get a lot of extra height over what the slam normally is. So if I go ahead and do, your regular jump slam, you see I get a little bit of a boost there, but nothing even near what I just did. Alright, so again, I'll just show you how to wind that up. You go ahead and charge up your M2, go up to the slope, and you jump and try to do the slam at the same time and sprint midair. So what I have found from testing, if you are at top of this bubble or just kind of any place around where you would normally be near-ish to the edge of kind of the outer ring of the arena, it takes about 3-ish minutes to get enough speed so that when you finally do your slam, you will actually get enough height to completely get up to the arena and not have to do pillars. Now, I know 3 minutes is kind of a long and boring time to wait, but let's be honest, literally anything is better than doing pillars. And just to show you how a shallower slope does not work, the amount of time it takes for your animation to finish before you go ahead and hit the edge of the slope to put you into the glitch state is not enough when you're on a slope like this. So if I go ahead and do that again, and I try to do it, if I can get the timing right. One more time. Alright. You see, I get that little bit of air before I actually hit the ground. And it is in that little bit of hop that you get where you can get into that state. But because it's too shallow, it's not kind of catching the hitbox of the character or whatever to stop your momentum. So it has to be something with enough slope that you can go ahead and actually stop the animation. So right now I am going to get up to the top of the bubble here, and I will wait out that 3 minutes, and I'll pop back to you in a second just so you can see the height you get off of it. Okay, so I've been waiting just about 3 minutes here. Keep in mind, the longer you sit in this, the more momentum you get, so if you go over, it doesn't really matter. But if I go ahead and hit space, we are going to go way into the sky here. And I did go a little too high. But the proof of concept is there. Okay, so probably the next best spot to do this is actually over by Soups. So firstly, the best thing about this spot is that you can actually come over and check Soup. But because this glitch can be done on any sloped surface, if I kind of come down to the edge here and go ahead and get into the glitch state, you can pretty much just hide behind this wall here. Most of the enemies aren't going to be able to bother you. Sure, some lunar wisps might be lurking around, but if you've made your way over here and haven't dealt with them yet, especially knowing that you need to sit and wait 3 minutes, that's kind of on you. But once you get here, it's just a relatively chill time. I'll go ahead and skip the 3 minutes again just to show you the launch up top there. Okay, so we're nearing the 3-minute mark here. You kind of come up and poke out of safety. Like to get as close to the edge as you can here, and I'm just gonna make our way up. Now we'll want to slow some of our momentum there so we don't go too high, but as you can see, more than enough to get up here. So you could probably cut it down to 2.5. I know that I tried 2.5 and it worked most of the time, but I have been going on 3 to be on the safe side, just so you know you get enough height to get up here, because nothing is going to be worse than waiting that 2.5 to 3 minutes and not actually being able to make it up here. At that point, if you had enough damage, you probably should have just done pillars. Next thing I want to showcase here is another little side effect of this glitch. So if I go ahead and come up to these guys right here and I charge up my slam, you know, it's got a decent radius, but even at full charge, I'm not hitting them from here, right? You gotta be pretty up close and personal to actually deal some damage to these. So if I, you know, right there, boom, I get them. But even these guys, I don't think got hurt by that at all. If I go ahead and get myself into the glitch state, and kind of get myself up here like this, I'm gonna go back up to the top of the bubble here, and we'll just let them sit there for a second. And what, I've been in this for 10, 15 seconds, whatever it might be. But if I go ahead and let go, they're all dead now. So not only does the slam keep your momentum and then launch you into the air, but even from that short of a time, it increases the radius of damage of your slam by quite a lot. I haven't quite tested exactly how far this range can go and how long it takes to get there, but it is relatively easy to do if you're on any stage and you got a lot of mobs around that you're trying to kite around or whatever, and you don't have a lot of AoE or whatever you might have. If you go ahead and get yourself in this state, because you can still move around, you can go ahead, dodge them, weave, do whatever you need to, and after having charged this up for a while, you can just slam down and deal damage to the whole map. Now, the damage itself does not seem to increase based on how long you are holding the charge, but the fact that you can basically wipe out an entire stage of at least the small enemies is kind of insane. Also, from the testing, I noted that you can hit flying enemies with it. Again, I'm not sure the range with your slam that works, but everything is getting hit on the stage, so it's fantastic for clearing waves, or if you're in kind of a copium situation trying to whittle down their numbers at the very least. So now I'm just going to go over some of the things that I found, more the technical angles and stuff. The start of this is really just all of the things that I explained in the video, but it's all written down in case you wanted to, you know, pause, take a look at that, not have to watch the whole video to see that. But there are a couple notes I did want to add. If you fire all the charges of your M2 before charging, so when I say fire your M2, I mean the shards that you have, not the charged slam. If you do that before doing the glitch, it will actually make it a little bit easier. Because False Sun's passive makes you gain speed, but lose attack speed when you don't have those shards fully charged, it makes it a little bit easier. So movement speed is just something helpful to be able to get the glitch a little easier if you're having trouble. But also, as I'll talk about in a second here, attack speed can actually make it a little more difficult. So extra movement speed is not required for this, though it does help it make it a little easier. When I talk about getting into the glitch state, it's because you are kind of stopping yourself at the height of that little jump you do before the slam by hitting that slope. The faster your character is able to move, the more easily you're going to be able to hit that slope and make sure that you stop the animation. I had also found that having extra movement items, movement speed items, gives a little bit of extra height, but it's not a lot. So if you go all into a hoof printer, it's not like you're gonna only have to charge for a minute to get up there. It'll add a little bit of height, but it's not gonna matter. You can maintain this glitch state in the egg. So if you use the volcanic egg, if you, you know, pop out of it in the air, you will then fall down to continue the slam. Because it will, because you're falling, it will get you out of that glitch state. But as well, if you run into the ground while still in the egg, it will do the slam wherever you touch. So do with that what you will. I don't see any real uses for that. I tried to see if you can actually get out of the egg and not lose the glitch state. But because you do fall a little bit, you'd either need to be absolutely frame perfect, or I just don't think it's possible. But the biggest thing that you're going to want to worry about is if you have too much attack speed, it makes it really hard to get that glitch state. So if you don't know, in Risk of Rain, when you go to charge up an attack, or any attack animations are sped up by your attack speed items. And due to the fact that you're trying to stop your animation to get this glitch state, the faster the animation, the harder it's going to be for you to get into it. I found that once you get about 8 syringes worth of attack speed, it becomes really hard, nigh impossible to actually get into the glitch state. At the very least, False Sun is not really a character that you want a ton of attack speed on, but it's just to be aware that if you, for whatever reason, have picked up a bunch of syringes in your run, you may want to scrap them before you get to the moon, as to not make this glitch harder for yourself to achieve. Um, and because of your passive allowing you to lose some attack speed by firing off your crystals, if you are, even have a couple of syringes or whatever and are finding it hard to actually do the glitch, firing off a couple of those can help mitigate it a little bit. Not a lot, but enough that it's worth giving it a shot. But that is all I have on this now. Feel free to do with this information whatever you will, and have fun not doing pillars.